Hello everybody, and this is GeneStar134, and as you can see, this is Borderlands 2. Just came out. Literally today. And what can I say? This is a beautiful game. Now, I will be giving the good and the bad. I will not say this is like the best game ever made, but does it have its high points? Yes, it does. Now, you follow off by leading where Borderlands 1 finished. The former Vault Hunters have retired after doing what they've done for 5 years. But now a new enemy has surfaced, Handsome Jack. And he's out for every single Vault Hunter on Pandora, not just the ones that you know are our favorites. Now, the first one played very well, had a very good story, but it was very dilapidated. Everywhere there was different stories, there was different reasons to fight different bosses, and it was very good, but at the same time, you were so lost in it that you couldn't focus on a single enemy. You didn't have that flow. Handsome Jack creates that flow and helps you work and focus on that one person that you guarantee to hate, and he helps you move through this story so so much better than the first story. It's not to say that the story was lacking, but it clarifies. So it gives you progression. It gives you a lot more to build on. And you also get a clearer view of who you played in the first game. So moving on from story, I will go to gameplay. I don't intend to spoil anything. I will give some viewpoints. I will give you some little details, but I'm not going to ruin this for anyone. Now, gameplay on that note was very good. A very big improvement in gameplay. Now, it was very fast, more rapid than it was in the first one. Not to say that the first one was slow, but there have been a few key points that were incredibly improved on. And one is that your enemies are jumping around, moving and rolling on the floor, doing everything they can to try and kick your butt. They're trying to kick your ass to Kingdom Come, and that's what they do. First boss in the game, I believe his name was Flint, and he is the most difficult. I died 3 times just trying to do that. While in the first game of Borderlands, you fight Ninesos, and I kicked his ass easy. And that's to say something. Now, that's a good improvement. You want a challenge. You don't want something that's just going to give you something easy right off the bat. Now, that's not to say this game is incredibly hard. It gives you a good base, a good flow. And honestly, the new guns are what's worth it the most. Gives you the personalization, the battle, and then these 4 new characters that I will point out later on in this review mean a lot. They're set for just about everyone. But from there, we'll move on to visuals. Now, the visuals in the game have always been unique. They've always been something to point at because there's nothing like it. A lot of people can't say there's something similar to Borderlands except for Borderlands itself. So that is a strong point for this game. The nitty-gritty style has always been great for this system, or for this game. And Gearbox has gotten a great following just from having that. And so one other thing that I do poke on is the textures. They take a while to load, and it's not because they can't afford the system. It's they have so much to load at one time. And if anything, it does create for a comedic experience at the same time, because let's just say I was fighting one of my enemies. The textures may have loaded for the background, but that enemy could still be black and running around, and you're just like, the blob's attacking me? What the hell's going on? And it's just an example of what can happen and has happened in the game to me so far. So textures are something to, if you're very picky about, to worry about, but even when the textures load, they look beautiful. And the environments are a lot more vast, a lot more detailed, and if anything, a lot more creative, especially with certain things like you're able to climb up ladders now, you're able to go different routes, and even work around certain things that you weren't able to before. Occasionally you do still get caught on things, but that's the side note. Everything's gonna have a catch to it. Nothing's gonna be perfect, but it's pretty close. It is dramatically an improvement. Now, going into this, we have the four characters. I don't know the exact story for all of them because it would take a long time to go into detail. But I will touch on each one, at least for gameplay reasons. Now we have the character I played as Zero. Zero is an assassin, similar to Roland, who was the hunter. If anything, you can think of these characters as the improved versions, the 2.0s if you can, for all these characters. Now, Zero is an assassin, and his ability is that he can disappear, create a replica of himself, and then reappear and kill his enemy. And that is pretty great for those who want to be an assassin, who want to jump into that. And if anything, your specs are mostly, of course, quiet killing, melee, and sniping. There are a few ways that you can toy around with it, and of course, even if you're not really great with it, the character is still very solid. Moving on, we have Lilith's sister. I don't remember her name. I haven't really poked at all of them yet. But she is another siren and of four sisters. And she is very strong, very balanced, and I believe from what I've heard, she is very coordinated with the other characters. Her ability is that she can phase clutch, while Lilith had phase walk, she phase clutches, which means that she can grab an opponent and lift them up in the air so it creates a center mass for everyone to attack, and that is awesome. And of course she has some abilities that improve on the party and help the party. Next is the Commando. The Commando is, like I said for the others, an improvement. He is a mercenary from what I remember, and his best thing is not only do his turrets, or his turret, let me strike that as a little pin in the note, his turret only shoots bullets, but then it can be upgraded to shoot rockets. And then from there, you can duplicate into two turrets. Now, I don't know how far this goes, but that is pretty damn awesome if you decide to play the game on single player. Probably, as in the first game, is the most overpowered character you can play as. Favorability, of course, is if you want what you want. But for him, it's always about power, strength, and that's always been the soldier. And last is the Gunzerker, and his primary pick is that he can dual wield. From what I've heard, you can dual wield with just about anything. The only thing you cannot dual wield is two rocket launchers, and I can understand that, simply because it is way too powerful. And the Gunzerker is already powerful as it is. I don't know the specs, but if anything, they're probably similar to the the original Berserker, Brick, in that he probably boosts his health, boosts his attacks, and just overall destroys and maims everything. And that's what a lot of people will go into first, because if anything, that is the easiest of all of them, because it's a very simple attack plan. Now, I've gone into a little more detail than I should, but here's my overall opinion. If you like Borderlands 1, then you will love Borderlands 2. It's a sandbox game, but at the same time, you get a more personal feel for it. You get the story, you get everything, and it's all improved. Yes, there are optimists and pessimists out there that say some things haven't changed, but some things shouldn't change. Yes, some of them could be improved or always touched on, but it's dumb picks where the company or Gearbox has finally jumped and created something that's actually better than the original. And that's to say something, especially when Valve created Portal and everyone jumped at Portal 2, and yet you get this streamline where people are battling right and left. Meanwhile, there's been a collector review saying this is better than the first. So, you want my opinion? If you love Borderlands 1, you will love, and I guarantee this, love Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 is improvement and creative masterpiece from what I've seen so far, and I recommend it for everyone. You can buy it on Steam, you can buy it on the PlayStation Network, I believe the Xbox Network. If you buy from GameStop, you get a Vault Collector's Key and many more. I mean, I like I said, I won't ruin everything, but it is definitely worth visualizing and seeing all those details for what they are because they have improved incredibly. So I hope you enjoyed this review as much as I did. This is Gene Starman, 34, signing out.